welcome to another episode of Bill Has Opinions, your can't miss Bill shit. I am Laura Lavoie, and I'm here with Bill Perkins, who has opinions.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. It's been a long while.
Yeah, it feels like an age since we've been together to talk about things.
Yeah, and we got a show for you today, folks.
Oh,
but yeah, no, it's been a while. So yeah, well, you had to not do a couple episodes because you had some things going on.
Yeah, we were out of town, and then you were getting your...
Yeah, we had some construction happening in our house. And it took longer than, as those projects do,
they
right?
do, yes.
A little longer than expected, so I had to cancel even more shows than we had anticipated canceling because I didn't want anyone here while the bathroom was completely tore up. It was just too much for me.
Yeah, I feel you.
So, but now we have a nice new shower. We actually have more work to do, but that's another discussion.
Oh, okay.
Because all we got done was the shower, but we're gonna do some more things in the rest. Are
you gonna flip the toilet, or are you keeping it?
Well, we're keeping it, but we'll have to take it out.
You're gonna redo the floor. Gotcha. Okay.
So we'll take it out and then we'll reinstall it with like a new one of those little wax things.
Yeah.
Refresh that up.
Right. Yes.
And then make it. And
I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
I've swapped out the floors in the bathroom a few times, so
yeah.
I know how that goes. Although sometimes we swap the toilet. You'll take out the. Although if you have an older toilet, sometimes my personal thing is if you have an older toilet and it's not broken.
Yeah, it's not broken. It seems fine.
I mean,
it's not that old.
But depending on what you don't have the one that came with the house.
No,
that's what I mean.
That one's long gone.
I mean, like, because some people like having a 5-gallon flusher.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And you can't get those anymore.
That's true. No,
so if you have one, I'm saying hold on to it. If that's something you appreciate. If you don't care, or if the water bill's too high, then get the regular low pillows like everybody else has.
Sure.
But, sometimes it's nice to have at least one in the house that's like the old one.
Sure.
That came with the house.
We replaced, because the reason we replaced the one that came with the house, although the one that came with the house, I'm sure, was also itself replaced at some point. Because the house was built in 1948. So I'm guessing at some point it was replaced a couple of times.
They might have built things to last back then.
That's true. But yeah, it's been 9 years since we replaced this one. So we'll leave it for a bit.
Okay.
We don't need to replace it right now. So we did that. But what have you been up to since we were off?
Well, like I said, we went on a little vacation, a little short road trip to Chattanooga. And we saw Rock City, which has been a lifetime dream of mine ever since I was a child.
Because you see
these barns that say "See Rock City," and I wanted to see it because I'd been told to see it. So I did see it, and it's worth seeing. I'll tell you. So first off, caveat: I really like kitschy shit.
Sure.
So kitschy roadside attractions from the 1950s are my jam.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we've stopped at a great many of them. I was always the person when I was a child. We'd be going somewhere, and he'd be like, next left, the world's largest canary, I'd be like, oh, we gotta stop, look at this. And my parents would be like, we got places to be, And so when I grew up, I was like, when I go on road trips, if I see a sign that says something interesting, I will stop and look at it. Like, that's just my thing. Like, that's what road tripping's about.
Sure.
Stop and see the world's largest canary.
Sure. Yeah. When you see the world's largest canary, you'll be excited about it.
Right. It's probably not a real canary. It's a fiberglass.
Yeah, they always are.
Canary.
Man, yeah. I had a friend who was on, she toured with the big Idaho potato.
Yeah.
And he gets so excited and you're like, no, it's a fiberglass fucking potato.
Right.
But then she got, they had to decommission the potato that she traveled with.
Yeah.
So she got custody of it and turned it into an Airbnb that's actually featured on the Airbnb TV commercials.
Yeah. I've seen that. It's a little tiny house.
Yeah, little tiny house. That's a potato.
You can stay in.
Yep, in Idaho, as you might imagine.
Oh, yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so we went and saw Rock City and a couple of other attractions. Rock City was the only one that I would really say, hey, get out there and see it. If you haven't been, I had wanted to see it since reading American Gods because the last scene in American Gods, the book, takes place there. Actually, it's funny. There was I had read another Neil Gaiman novel. Although that's side.
Well, that's a whole other episode.
Whole other side note there. But this was before that.
Yes.
Before I knew about that. But anyway, I had recently read this book Stardust. That was a young adult novel.
Yeah.
And in Stardust, there's a town, and in that town there's a wall, and the wall has a slight crack in it that you can go through, pass into the fairy realm.
Right.
There's actually a rock wall in Rock City that has a tiny little slip of crack in it.
So you're like,
And I was like, I wonder if this is where you got the fucking idea. And this is the best thing. Check it out. It was like 98 degrees that week, right? It was like hot as fuck. The whole week. This was before it started raining again and cooled off a little. And so we were up there on top of this mountain, and it's hot as fuck. And when I was standing there beside that rock wall with that crack in it, though, there's a cool fucking breeze coming from the fairy realm, I guess. It's cold. It must be winter in the fairy realm. I don't know. It felt like air conditioning. It was awesome. And it made me want to go through there. You know?
Right, just because you're like, I'm fucking hot.
Yeah, that must be nice over there. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, for roadside attractions, and American Gods obviously had a whole bunch of them. I was also a very big fan of the House on the Rock. So if you have a chance, if you're in Wisconsin for any reason, go to House on the Rock, because that's some insanity. Is what that is.
Yeah, so we did that. And and in the meantime, I wanted to say, you know, we all know it's been an eventful couple of weeks.
Oh yeah.
In the world.
Oh yeah.
It's enough to make a person want to drink.
Where I should have lined them up was right here, but then you wouldn't have been able to see us. So I should have lined them up right in front of the
gradually
camera.
You could see more and more of us through the show.
Yeah, because exactly. But we have quite a few. So this episode is about IPAs. And there's a specific reason we're doing IPAs, in part because you've never historically liked them.
I don't love them, but they're growing on me. You know,
and there's a scientific reason for that, folks, and we're going to talk about it.
It's called getting old.
It really is.
I'm almost ready to be president.
here's a let's.
I mean, I still got another 20 or 30 years before I can really think about it.
To be fair. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 beers in front of us.
Okay.
So we're pouring ourselves small portions.
Oh, I didn't go small.
And if we don't like them, we don't have to finish them.
Okay.
So
I guess maybe I poured it anticipating that I would like it.
Well, maybe. And this one, it sounds like we might.
It looks like the kind of thing I'm prone to liking.
So what is this one? Bright Sky by Pisca?
Bright Sky by Pisca. And it claims to be a blood orange IPA.
That's a good one to start with, because I do expect that we'll actually like it.
You know.
Oh, I like that a lot.
I'm sure you do. I'm gonna go ahead and dump mine because
you've got a dump glass there too.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can use either of them.
Yeah, I got you. I didn't realize that. Okay. I don't love it, and I'll tell you. I expected, with it being called Blood Orange IPA, that it would have a little more of a fruitier flavor, and all I taste is hops. Like, this just tastes piney to me. So I'm not. I mean, I'll say this: under the right circumstances, like if it was a hot day, and if I were eating something spicy or something like that, it'd be a good beer for things. But right now, I don't love it.
I like it because it's more IPA than. So I'm curious, because of the way I set these out. I'm curious if you will change your opinion about some of the last ones after you've tasted some of these ones.
Maybe,
because they may mellow out a bit.
Sure.
So yeah, I like this because it is an IPA that happens to have blood orange flavor.
I didn't even taste it in the close. Like, I didn't notice it at all.
I tasted.
I mean, I'm sure you do, but you have a more like sophisticated palate for IPAs than I do. Like, to me, the thing I'm going to taste is hops, right? Like that's a given. I'm going to taste hops like crazy.
Sure.
When I drink an IPA.
Sure.
I will say, it's the kind of hops that in the 1 or 2 IPAs I like. That's why I said I could see myself liking it in the right circumstance. But right now, I don't know. So I'm not loving it right now.
You did just take basically a sip, and I argued that you can't taste an IPA in a sip.
Okay.
Because the hops, the way it hits your palate, changes as you drink it. So I think, if you're going to drink one, and we did set this one aside for a person who's going to come get it.
Okay.
So because you have to actually drink a fair amount, so it lets the hops mellow on your tongue. So your first sip is
I got
always going to
that
be
makes
super
sense.
hoppy.
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
So
well, I had a second sip now, and it was slightly sweeter than the first sip.
Yeah, that happens. That's very common in IPAs, and that's kind of how I learned
And actually,
to like them.
beers getting sweeter are the only reason that I'm starting to pivot towards IPAs,
Well,
because
right.
I've found that a handful of beers that I used to like, I no longer like. Like I can't even drink Dos Equis Amber anymore.
Right, and we'll get into the science of it.
Yeah,
but it's not that the beers are getting sweeter.
No, I know it's. I know they haven't changed the recipe or anything. I know it's me. It's I'm the one who's changed.
So we are we're going to taste all these beers. So this show is a little different from some of our normal ones because usually we have beers throughout the episode and we talk about a topic.
Right.
But this time the
topic is
beer. So we're going to pivot real quick and
we got to get that out of the way.
Promote our shit for you. If you're watching, please buy our stuff.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, big sale on our FJB merchandise that we used to have. That stuff's useless now.
Yeah, we don't want any. All of our Let's Go Brandon is deeply discounted.
Yeah. I basically order one of these and I'll throw in the Let's Go Brandon.
I'd like to point out that the views of Bill. No, the truth is neither of us had any of that stuff.
No, I'm just messing around. You know that. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that.
I mean, unless I've got new people who stumbled in here.
Right, and you never know. You never know. We encourage new people to stumble in here. Thanks, viewer, for watching.
That'd be great.
But
if you are.
But we have merch. We've got a series of posters and other items. The Stay Shitty series.
Yes.
We're big fans of those because we made them. And of course, you can get t-shirts with our old branding, our old basic logo, as well as the new current Can't Miss Bullshit logo. So I highly encourage you to buy it, mostly because we want to buy a new camera.
Yeah.
And that would help us do that.
We'll do that then.
So let's try another beer while we're here.
Crack into another one.
All right, let's see. What's this one? This one is Lounge Juice. So for some reason, you bought all double IPAs.
Are they all doubles?
This one is.
Yeah, I guess so.
So they're all high gravity. So that's part of the reason I'm not going to drink a ton of them.
Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. This is the stuff that,
spoke to you?
No, it was just stuff that said, I don't know. I was looking for the fruity ones, and all the fruity ones were like that. I don't know.
Sure. Well, here's Lounge Juice, and it's by Highland Brewing.
Okay.
We have another Highland later in the show as well.
Yeah.
But a very different profile. Lounge Juice, one would imagine it's very juicy.
Well, you'd like to think.
Oh my God, I don't like the smell of it. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
I don't know. Give it a taste. See what you think.
It does smell an awful lot like something else I've drank in the last 2 months that I didn't love.
That's too fruity for me. I do not like that at all. Like sweet fruity. Yeah, not a fan.
It's both. It's fruity, but then it's also like astringent in a way. You know what? It's like they just use the pith.
It's medicine. It tastes like medicine.
Yeah, it tastes like quinine. Or something. You know what I'm saying? Like or like you chewed up a aspirin.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a very, that bitter.
Not a fan of that setting aside, to be real.
I'm gonna have one more sip because you told me you can't judge on the first
That's
sip.
true, and I had like 2 or 3 just then.
Mm-hmm.
So to give viewers who don't know, you still know, not a fan. So
it's.
I imagine most of our viewers are familiar with IPAs. But to give a little history of IPA, right? So IPA stands for India Pale Ale, not Indian Pale Ale that a lot of people say. It's India Pale Ale.
It's Indiana Pale Ale.
It is not that at all. So
not even if it's from Lafayette?
Not even.
No, all right.
I mean, I suppose if you wanted to be kitschy and you're like from Indiana and you make an IPA and you call it Indiana Pale Ale, like that, I get. So but the whole branding and it's become like, I don't think it meant when the original founders of IPA made this style, I don't think they expected it to do what it did. But basically, when the British colonized India and they were shipping beer from England to India, and it would go bad, right? Beer, especially not canned beer. Beer has a limited shelf life, and it would turn into vinegar, like wine or like anything else. It would get nasty.
Mm-hmm.
So hops, which are a little flower that are related to cannabis, hops are a natural preservative. So they learned that if they put hops in the beer and they shipped it, it would stay preserved. But it did give the beer a slightly more bitter flavor. But then it became popular, not just in India, but in Britain and then throughout the world, and now has kind of reached, epic proportions.
Yes.
And everybody makes an IPA, and there are all kinds of different IPAs, and we'll get into that as well. But let's
move along.
I kind of wish I had saved the first can to drink later in the show if we ran out of this. So you did it again. This is 2 times Juice Jolt.
Oops, I did it again.
So it's a double IPA. And it's from Southern Tier, and you were going for juicy.
Juicy. I was trying. So,
but it is also a 9.5%.
So dial it back. So one of the few IPAs I do like is I like the Going Coastal from Sweetwater, right? Which is a tropical IPA. And it balances it's more pineapple than anything, I guess.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But the pineapple and the hops mix together in a pleasant way that makes me go, this is okay.
So you're trying to recreate
I'm always trying because the only way one can get that beer here is to buy a 12-pack that only has 3 of that beer in it because it's a mixed 12-pack.
And a bunch of other IPAs.
And then a bunch of other IPAs I don't drink. So it's just not, I'm not going to spend $15 to get 3 beers that I'm going to drink. Anyway, so I'm always trying to find something that hits me the same way.
Sure.
And so when I see juice, I'm like, okay, well, maybe it'll be what I'm looking for, but it usually is not.
Usually. So this one, the smell of it smells like sweet tarts.
It does smell like sweet tarts.
I'm afraid to drink this one too.
I think it's going to be better than the last one.
Well, I like Southern Tier a lot. I mean, to be fair, I like Highland a lot too, but yeah, it is slightly better than the last one, but I still don't
because it's not because the last one was bitter. And this one's like, so like I said, I felt like the last one, the part of the fruit they used was the pith or the rind. And this one, it tastes like juice. This actually reminds me of my favorite tangerine wheat beer from Lost Coast in a way,
Sure.
I mean, I know it's not the same kind of beer, but the juice notes are very similar in that regard. Although this is probably actually more juicy than that.
It is very juicy. And that's the thing I want to say about it is that for my taste in IPA, I still want it to taste like an IPA.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying about when I'm comparing this to a tangerine wheat.
Right.
The one I like, you can still taste beer even in that. You know what I mean? Like I taste tangerine in it, but I also taste beer. It has both things evenly. And this is very heavy on this is like, yeah, like you poured yourself some high C, what was the Sunny D? It's like Sunny D, and then somebody's put a little splash of IPA at the end or something.
Sure.
Like, hey, I'm mixing up a little, just have some of this.
No one will ever notice I'm drinking beer if I mix it with my Sunny Delight. I mean, it's not that bad, right. But I want to have
if I was somewhere
hops.
Yeah, if we didn't have all these other cans, I would probably just drink it.
Sure.
I'd finish it off. And then I'd feel good because it's 9.5%.
Right, and then you wouldn't care what anything else
exactly.
Like.
About halfway through it, I probably would stop caring. But
sure, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Right, and mind you, so the next one that we're going to get to, I can't even believe this is a product.
Like, this is
a product.
She's like, this shouldn't be.
This is
like
illegal.
The government should say no to this.
Yes, so this is first of all, this is from Goose Island, which I typically don't buy because they're a Budweiser product.
Sure.
So I don't normally drink them, and that's just me being a beer snob. So I'm not a big fan, but that Goose Island made this. It's a 9.9 Imperial Tropical IPA.
Yeah.
But it's in the fucking Tallboy. Like, this is, because the thing is, when you go into a store to buy a Tallboy, you're doing that because you want to drink it. And often you're doing that because you want to drink it right then.
And you're going to go out and drink it in the car.
Yes, exactly. and then you might have to go to a function. Like you might have to go anywhere and function in normal society.
Yeah, well, this will make people more tolerable.
But this is but like when you're talking like the typical like alcoholic dad that goes and drinks a tall boy of like something shitty, right? Those are only 4.9%
generally,
or less.
I mean, unless he's getting Four Loko or something.
Sure. But now you come in and you drink this,
you're
going to be flying fucking high.
This is to get you fucked up. And, honestly, I mean, one of my few other IPAs I like comes in a tall boy, right? Like Space Dust.
Yeah, Space Dust.
Which is cheap as fuck also. Yeah. It's like $2.50 for a tall boy is Space Dust, and Space Dust is not this high, but it's still, I think, around 9.
9, 8 or 9, I think.
Yeah.
It's up there. And see, it's funny to me that you like Space Dust because that's an exceedingly traditional IPA.
No, I know, it's very piney.
It's very piney.
I'm aware. It like I said, I fell into that one by happenstance, and then it grew on me because of the alcohol volume.
Thus the point. But so before we dig into the tropical IPA, I do want to quickly mention, so there are a lot of styles of IPA.
Yeah.
Because it's become so popular. And we have a couple of them represented here, but not all of them, because I knew some of them you would not like.
Okay.
So we do have here some of them. They're New England or hazy IPAs. They're not expressly... Sometimes they're called juicies, but they're not like tropical juicy, right?
The juicy comes from the type of hops, kind of, right?
Well, the hops and the style and the way it's fermented and the way it's made, so it just ends up being sort of citrusy, but not because it has citrus in it.
Right.
It's because of the hops and because of the style. So I do have a few at the end of this grouping that are that style because I knew you were going to bring a lot of these like flavor bombs, and I was like, let's try a few like beers.
Yeah,
like,
got you.
Beers. But I did choose hazies particularly because that was my thought was the type of hops that you might like.
Okay,
because they're citrusy hops.
Fair.
The West Coast IPA you would not like. Those are the hop bombs. Those are the ones that are just hoppy for the sake of hoppy.
And I've had a few. I mean, when I first started drinking beer, I tried like some Lagunitas and. Well, Sierra Nevada is good for that. I felt like there was another big brewery on the West
Ballast
Coast.
Point
Yes.
did a lot of it. So Stone Brewing is huge into West Coast IPAs. And that kind of for a little while, that became the default IPA in America.
Yeah.
Just because those were the breweries that were doing it first.
Was Anchor one of those too?
No, Anchor. No, I mean, I think they have a hoppy one, but their signature beer is not hoppy.
Okay.
But so I knew you wouldn't like West Coast, at least not yet. And then there's Double or Imperial, which half of these are. So you can make any style of beer Double or Imperial. And that just basically means it's got increased alcohol content.
I do like that. It's funny because I don't like Imperial stouts, even though I do generally like stouts, but Imperial stouts are always too much. It's always like, because they just end up tasting like syrupy sweet. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so we'll see. Like these... While I haven't had one yet that I'm loving, I do know that, like I said, Space Dust is, I guess, probably a double, right? I mean, it's 9.
Yeah, I don't know if it's technically considered a double or not. It might be right.
But it's a very high. I mean, it's one of the higher gravity beers that is on sale,
especially in a tall boy. And so then an English IPA, which is kind of the originator of and there's a brewery around here that does mostly English style IPAs, is Green Man, and they're really crisp and dry and smooth, but also bitter, but not bitter like the hop bombs. Like their bitter is very, I don't know, traditional. And then sour IPA, which my note is just blech.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't like sour anything anymore.
No, me neither.
We all had that thing.
I went through a phase.
We went through that Gose phase a couple summers ago.
There's also no way I'm going to fucking drink even a portion of it.
You're not even going to finish it.
No, I'm not.
A quitter.
I'm barely going to start it. So no sours. I got over real fast.
Yeah, me too. Like every time they have one on tap at the Purple Onion, I'm like, I'll ask about it sometimes because it'll be a weird flavor, and they're like, sometimes I'll have a taste.
I'll have a taste of them even still,
just out of curiosity. And I do that with a lot of weird beers that I don't like. I'll just be like, give me a taste of it. I just gotta know, like, because it'll have a funny name or something. But I know I'm not gonna like it going in because I'm like, it's just not my thing. I don't like the sours anymore.
So this has the it's not as juicy on the nose as the other ones.
I feel like this is probably passion fruit or
mango,
one of those two.
And I fucking love passion fruit.
How do you feel about mango?
I actually like mango, like 1985, which
I'll agree with you on that one. That one's actually
one of my favorites.
That's the only mango beer I'll drink. I don't
normally seek out a mango beer. I don't normally seek out mango flavor.
Mango to me tastes like mango tastes to me like the peach you got off a Wish.
It's funny because not mango. You've said that about passion fruit too.
Okay, both of them. I don't care for either one of them. They're like they're in the same area. Like they kind of taste like a peach, but like you told somebody about a peach and they try to create it.
See, I love passion fruit, but I don't like peach. And mango is just sort of like a maybe. I'm like I would never eat a mango.
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't eat a passion fruit either. But I like making cocktails. So okay. This one is interesting. I don't hate this as much as I expected to. Have you drank this one before?
I don't think I have. No.
All right.
No, I've been eyeballing it for 2 months. I told you about it. Because I saw it at the gas station. They have this at the gas station.
Right, for the day drinkers. I'm going to work now.
This is right beside the space dust, and I use it just by the space dust because I'm familiar with it.
It's probably also right beside the Tall Boys of Bud Light.
Sure. Well, they're further down. They have all the ones with flavors, and then they move down to the Bud Light and Modelo and that shit, that comes in a Tall Boy as well. But I've been seeing it for a while, and so I said something to you about it a while. I mean, I think I told you about it like 2 months ago.
Yeah,
like, we're gonna have to try this one. Yeah, I think I see a picture of it because I'm like, look at this. Yeah, look at this shit.
Yeah, it's way too much alcohol in way too much beer. And I don't love the fact that it's an InBev product.
They've got another one.
Not bad.
They've got another beer hug, not the tropical. They've got another flavor too. I can't remember what that one was called.
It's really not bad.
This summer, this one's been in the case the whole time.
Sure.
So I was like, well, we'll have to try that.
So, to be fair, this is actually the best one we've had so far. Of all of them. Well, I liked the first one.
You did, okay.
I did. You didn't, but I
I had mixed feelings about the first one. Actually, I feel like if I drink the first one now,
you would.
I might like it.
Yeah, we should. I don't know if it's still in play if we can get it back, but also that's why I put the beers that are on the end of this.
To get the fruit taste out of my mouth.
Yeah, it really is. They're all hazies, but they're not.
Because I have a after this one, I'm definitely going to want to get rid of it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, that was why I put that one there.
That one just says regret.
Yeah, it really does. We do have one. Mine will be called Beer Regret. But so the other styles, milkshake, which actually I think you might like milkshake. You don't like milkshake?
I bought a few because of the flavors they advertise at the bottle shop. They'll be like, oh, this is strawberry sherbet milkshake or some shit.
That's not technically a milkshake. Okay. Those are so milkshake. All milkshake actually is a hazy IPA made with lactose.
Right.
So like a milk stout.
Okay.
But an IPA. But then people will add weird flavors.
Right. And I fall for them because I think I had a key lime one a year or so ago. Like I was, how I came with the lime beers during the summer, right? Like I'll buy anything that says lime.
Right.
Well, I used to, and now I've got a little more choosy because I'm like, no, I've been burned a few times with this lime thing.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But
I had a key lime milkshake last summer that I did not love.
I don't like flavored milkshakes, but I like good quality IPAs that are milkshakes. So.
I think everybody fell for it because I thought milkshake. I didn't think at the time. I didn't think, oh yeah, that's a type, like a type of beer brewing. I thought it was saying key lime milkshake is the flavor of this beer.
Don't drink all of that. We have somebody coming to rescue the beers when we are done with them. Drink a little of it though. Give it a try. It's the best of them. Bye. I mean, for me, other than the first one. Anyway, side note, he's listening to the show, and I'm also giving him notes while we're doing the show. But milkshake is in and of itself a brewing style.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's just like a milk stout, but
Okay.
it's an IPA that's made with lactose.
Okay, so okay, got you. It's the IPA version of the milk stout.
Yeah, and where you can make milk stouts with flavors, not a lot of people do. They just make milk stouts, right? They don't maybe there might be a chocolate one
coffee or chocolate.
Coffee, but
the same flavors they put in regular stout.
Exactly. But all it should do, if it's not like a weird kitschy thing, all it should do is give you a different mouthfeel, like that sort of
it gives you that kind of
that
creamy thing. Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Then we have black IPAs, which if you do watch the show, I was obsessed with this like late winter. Black IPAs are basically IPAs brewed with dark roasty malts. So they've
been doing a lot of black lagers lately too.
Yeah, and I fucking love black lagers.
I do too. Those are really good.
I don't want them now, like now.
No, but December.
Yeah,
I'll drink them. Yeah.
December, January, even in February, I will drink a black IPA or a black lager, and I really enjoy them. White IPA is a dry hop wit beer, which you do like wit beers, so it might be worth exploring those.
I might. Well, I've had white, not IPAs, but I've had white ales around Christmas time. Also, they tend to make those.
Those are common, but yeah.
Okay, I don't. So yeah, maybe.
Then Brute IPA is like an extremely dry. They use different yeast.
I actually liked the Brutes when they were a thing. What was that? 3 summers ago or something? You remember?
Yeah,
like everybody made a Brute for 5 minutes.
It was very for a short period of time. Very very.
I did like those because they were very crisp and dry. Right. Yes. And they were drinkable. It was like a. I mean, I know it's not a lager, but it wasn't far off. Like it was like a lager that didn't leave a film in your mouth. Is what it was like to me. Like,
right. They were really it was, and that's all about the yeast. They're IPAs, but it's all about the yeast they use, which are just more crisp.
Yeah, but they were very light.
Yeah.
Airy. I liked them.
They might have had a little more hops than like other beer you would drink.
Sure.
To be fair, every beer has hops.
Oh yeah.
All of them.
No, I know. Sometimes I'll have a lager and I'll go, "This is pretty hoppy for a lager," you know.
Right.
And I don't mind hops in my lager. But I also want to taste grain. That's the thing with like me with like my Kolsch's and lagers and stuff. I want to taste the grain. I like to taste the grain. I like to go, oh my God, that's got, yeah. This has got that. I like that biscuity thing. I say, like that's the thing I'm going for, right?
Which is so that brings us to the last one on the list of the type, and these are typical types. They're not.
Yes.
They're not. There are infinite IPAs you can make, right? But cold IPA, which the term is often interchangeable with cold, or with IPL, India Pale Lagers, because it's all just in the yeast and the brewing style. So cold IPAs are basically lagers, but brewed in an IPA style. But they use lager yeast and lager brewing techniques, but they're IPA recipes.
Oh,
so you might like those too, because they would like the Brute. They would be really crisp and clean, like
that's
a lager.
I do like I said, it was about the finish on the Brute made it for me. It didn't leave you with an aftertaste, right? Which is a great thing sometimes, especially when you're drinking some of these syrupy ones. You're like, yeah.
So here is my exception to the rule, because I just gave you some shit for buying all juicy Imperial IPAs. But this is one I brought to the table, which is a juicy Imperial IPA. Noda is out of Charlotte, right?
Yeah,
and this is called Big Slurp. So I'm kind of worried about it, to be fair.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah,
but
I will say, if I'm going to judge a beer by its cover, like no credit to the graphic artist.
Yeah, Big
on
Slurp.
This.
It looks like Nickelodeon made that.
I know it does. That's why I'm like, I'm not gonna. I don't feel like I'm gonna love it.
Also, by the way, our audience said they agree Beer Hug was their favorite so far. The rest tasted like dog butt. It's a fair assessment. Yeah, but the thing is, I probably wouldn't buy it on the regular because it's Goose Island, which is Budweiser.
Well, you would buy it if the kids were yapping and you were headed to somewhere and you just really needed to take the edge off. And you stopped at the gas station and saw that.
Wait, I gotta go. Whose kids? Who do I just have random children?
Whatever. If you wound up with kids in your car,
I would be driving.
You'd be like, all right, I'm gonna stop here at the marathon.
Yeah, I don't know how this happened.
I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna take the edge off. And then you're gonna be like, Beer Hug. That sounds like it'll take the edge off.
It will. It will take paint off.
It will take the paint off.
All right, so Big Slurp. The scent is
not unpleasant.
It's not unpleasant. It's not overly fruity.
This is actually closest to going coastal.
I really like this. I'm a huge fan of
They
this.
should redesign the can.
It could look like
something I want to drink. Yes.
It's actually really good. So this one it's 8.5. So far it's the lowest ABV.
What's the flavor profile supposed to be? What are they claiming?
I don't know.
I can't even.
Can you
I can't even read this shit.
Let's see.
I don't have my readers.
No, none of those things say. It just says juicy. Here we go. Okay. Juicy Imperial IPA with tangerine and orange zest, which makes sense why you would like it. This Juicy Imperial IPA uses unique flavor concept from hops in the mash as a foundation for an amazing citrus hop bread. If Matt wants to come get a taste of this, but I'm going to leave this aside.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
we might finish it later.
We might finish it later.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Like I said, yeah.
Well, and now that I look at it, I should have swapped this one and the next one. Because this is the best.
This would have been better to close out than that, yes.
Yeah, because what we're close out the juicies.
The juicies, yes.
Because the next one is also an Imperial, and well, I'm gonna savor this for a second while we talk about it. But the next one is an Imperial IPA. It's one of the Voodoo Ranger, and we have railed on Voodoo Ranger.
God, we give them the shit. Well, not just Voodoo Ranger. We've beaten up New Belgium over their lousy branding for the last 4 or 5. Here's the thing: they make some beers that are really good. They used to make a lot more beers that were really good. I feel like they got
bought out too. But
I feel like they've actually canceled several lines of beer that I really enjoyed, and now everything seems to be this Voodoo Ranger shit.
Right, which as we've discussed used to be just their IPA brand.
But
now it's just. I don't know what the fuck. They have an atomic pumpkin. Which
They're like, I want to put a skeleton on the can. Call it Voodoo Ranger.
They have a lager that's a Voodoo Ranger. They've got a pumpkin beer that's a Voodoo Ranger.
The lager's okay.
I actually really like the lager.
The lager in 1985 are probably the two top Voodoo Rangers right now, right?
Right. So then, to make matters more complicated, they have New Belgium, and then they have Voodoo Ranger, which appears to be random flavors.
Because it used to be like I felt like they were doing the sub brand thing. Like here, Voodoo Rangers are IPAs, and things with the bike on them are like from
ales, Fat Tire,
and
style.
then things. And then they had that other line that citrus thing.
Yeah, Citradelic. So they have the
But
different
they've canceled all those. Those are gone. And then I remember because I realized when they sucked at branding because they had a beer that came out that was a citrus something that wasn't under the Citradelic.
But it also was. Do you want to taste? But give it back because we like this one. But then they sub-branded the sub-brand.
Yes.
And they created this force.
Yes.
So they've got a whole bunch of different
They put a helmet on the skeleton.
They did put a helmet on the skeleton. And we've actually tasted some of their other force beers.
Yeah.
And
some of them feel forced.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you right now, pour the tiniest amount.
Oh, I know.
Because we're not going to like that.
I'm already aware because, like I said, I've had several of their force beers, and I haven't enjoyed any of them.
Yeah. No, but I wanted you to taste it because.
But I've tried them out of morbid curiosity, which is a thing it killed the cat, I guess.
Automatically put this in the discard pile over here. But I wanted you to taste it. And now I've already established I don't like peach.
Goddamn. Okay, so this tastes like a Bartles and James. That's what it tastes like.
It really does.
If you remember when you were 15.
Bartles and James. Yeah. No, I brought that up to a bunch of people the other day. I don't remember. They were slightly younger than me, but they recognized the reference when I made it. And I was like, it's like a Bartles and James. And they all thought that was the funniest thing they'd ever heard from old grandma over there.
Yeah, but that's what it tastes like. It's like a wine cooler. It's or one of these malt drinks.
Yeah.
Okay, I was at the grocery store yesterday, and this dude, I was like putting together my make your own 6-pack thing.
Right.
And this dude walks over to me and he's got his phone out and he's like, hey, let me ask you something. And he shows me this thing and it's like some sort of Captain Morgan fruit cooler thing. He's like, have you seen this around? And I'm like, I have not, but honestly, I don't look at that section.
Right.
I'm like, I don't like the malt drinks, and I don't tend to look at them. So I like it could be right there, and I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. All right, so we're loosening up, folks. This is the best kind of show I'm gonna reach here. It's the best kind of show. All right, so this is another one you brought.
Right, and whatever it is, it'll be better than that.
That's true. I took barely a swig of it. But this is Florida Man. This is Cigar City, which is also owned by a holding company, but whatevs.
But they had some good beers.
They do. And I like their flagship IPA, Highlight.
Highlight, yeah.
I don't know that you would like it so much. I mean, maybe once you had a bunch of.
I'm familiar. I've actually been to their brewery. You know, we went down there. We were in Tampa a couple winters ago, and stopped there, and they had good food. You know, most breweries have good food.
Sure.
Well, if they have their own kitchen, I mean, and the ones with the food truck sometimes have good food too.
Oh, I love a good food truck.
And they also have Candyland. It's missing half the pieces.
Oh, yeah. All right. I think I've had this one before. It is another 9%.
I like the name.
Yeah.
To be fair, it said Florida Man.
But this isn't going to be. It's citrusy, but it's not a tropical. I don't think this will be the fruit bomb that some of them are.
Yeah, I'm actually expecting this one to work as a palate cleanser now.
Yeah, me too. But then we have, so the rest of them are all ones I contributed. They're all hazies, and I put them at the end because I thought after all the fruit bombs, we'd want to try them.
I don't know whether I like this one or I like it in comparison to the things I've had.
This is extremely hoppy.
Is it?
Like extreme. Yeah, right. It's not anymore, right?
I've had so much fruity shit that I don't even know.
That brings me to my final. So here's the thing.
Okay, you're telling us about the
science of it
that you've been promising.
The reason that you are finding some beers way too sweet is because your taste buds are dying, which is just a natural progression of aging.
I'm aware,
right?
Like, I know my granddad when he was at the end of his life. Everything he ate, he doused in hot sauce because he wanted to taste something. He wanted to feel something.
Exactly.
It's the same way that Johnny Cash hurt himself that day because he wanted to see if he could feel.
Exactly. But that is so spicy and bitter are two of the things that we start to gravitate toward as we age, as our taste buds start to die away. So you have a decreased number of taste buds, and your taste buds regenerate really quickly when you're young, but they don't reproduce as quickly as you age. So by the time you're in, so it starts to happen to women in their 40s and men in their 50s.
No.
And I started drinking IPAs probably, well, it was actually more than 10 years ago, but around then. Your taste buds also shrink. So they don't have as many, they don't have as much space for receptors. And then they don't function as well and leads to decreased sensitivity to taste. Another thing that can affect it is dry mouth. So as you age, your mouth produces less saliva, which can cause dry mouth and affect the sense of taste.
Okay.
And nerve degeneration. So age-related nerve degeneration, which is just we all will face, right? Some, for some people it can be a lot worse than others, but there might be some that, so the sensitivity of your taste buds, and then, which I don't think is the case, it might not be the case for any of us specifically, but medications like antibiotics, cholesterol, and blood pressure medications, and things like that. Antidepressants.
Oh, but I want to point something else out also whatever you've done just now beforehand, like you can put your palate off by eating things. It's like, I remember several times where I went into an Indian restaurant and I was eating my curry and I would order a stout.
Right, and it tastes like butt.
Oh God, it was so bad.
But you order an IPA with that, and you're like, "This is the best combination I've ever had."
Yes, exactly, because after you eat something spicy, you don't want a sweet beer. It's going to make a sweet beer taste sweeter, right? And that might be part of my problem with fucking Dos Equis Amber,
right? Because you're eating it with, or you're drinking
burrito
it with
that I've doused like fucking habanero sauce all over,
exactly.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, God damn, this tastes like. And I swear to God, like lately, every time I have a Dos Equis Amber, it tastes like I'm drinking like a Coca-Cola is what it tastes like to me. It started just tasting like cola, and I don't like cola.
Right.
Okay. Like some people might be like, oh, that sounds okay. I don't like it. Like the only soft drink I can mildly tolerate, and I don't drink sodas in general, but I don't hate the flavor of Dr. Pepper because it has a zing to it.
Yeah, a little something.
And I've said this to you in the past. Speaking of beers, that is it? No, not is it Stone? No, it's the other one. Who makes the hazelnut?
A Rogue.
Rogue hazelnut tastes like Dr. Pepper to me.
Sure. And
that's just a very drinkable beer to me in the wintertime. I love it. But anyway, I don't drink Dr. Pepper a lot either. I don't drink sodas. But so anyway, if a beer tastes like a soda to me, I go, oh, it's too sweet, malty, weird. I don't know. I don't want it.
It's just more than I want.
Yeah. But yeah. So I've kind of like got to the point now where when I'm eating a burrito, I usually get a Modelo because it's not offensive. It just kind of, and sometimes I get the 1985, which is, they don't have it on tap, but they have a can.
I love the shit out of a 1985.
It works sometimes.
We drink it when we came down to see you to trivia at the spot, which is, a taco shop that you do trivia at on some Sundays. And we had a couple of margaritas because, I mean,
like you do.
What you're known for, right? What they're known for. But after that, and we wanted a beer, we got the 1985.
Yeah, it's probably the best beer there. I mean, it's not on tap, like I said. I prefer a draft beer if it's offered.
Sure.
But sometimes I'm like I said, when I'm there, your choices are you can have Modelo or Dos Equis Amber on draft, or you can have the can of 1985. And sometimes I'm there and I'm like, just give me the can of 1985. It'll, All
right, we got 15 minutes to try these four beers.
We got to rush through.
Don't drink that one anymore.
What? But it's good.
Well, we can drink it
it's better than the others.
Yeah, but now can you shove these ones over so I can reach them?
Hey, I want to talk to you though, real quick about the palate cleanser thing. Is there a thing that between things you recommend that makes your beer taste okay? Like if you've been eating something or you just had one flavor of beer and then you're going to switch beers.
Sure.
What's the best thing to swish with betwixt?
Honestly, no liquid is going to get that taste out of your mouth. Milk, maybe.
Parsley.
Chew up
some parsley. I've heard that'll get the garlic taste out of your mouth.
It will. But honestly, just like a plain cracker like plain bread, something that's just real plain would be what I'd suggest. I don't know. Other people may have.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks. Thank you.
Hi there. Yes, we are.
It is beer. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
And we've had a lot of it right now. So
yeah.
All right.
Things are getting crazy.
Here are these next four.
Now we're doing the lightning round.
Yeah, it is. These next four ones I brought to the table.
All right.
So this is a hazy IPA, so it's not a juicy. I mean, they
Founders Mortal Bloom.
Yes. So Founders is out of Michigan. It's one of my favorite.
And this one is only 6.2. I say only 6.
Yeah.
Because compared to all the things we've had previously, this is light.
And I know I like that. I've actually had a bunch
of this before.
And I think it's very delicious. But I'm curious what you'll think. And I'm curious what you'll think now after you've had all these juice bombs that you just had. So let's give it a little tasty taste.
Still sniffing. I don't really actually smell anything.
No, well, yeah.
I got COVID in the last 2 minutes.
No, you didn't. But you don't even know what your thought is on it.
I mean, it's not offensive. I don't know if I even, compared to the things we just had, I don't really taste anything. Maybe my palate might be that wrecked. That's what I was getting at in the last question I asked you.
Yeah,
like what can one do because I've had things before where like your palate just gets completely wrecked, and after that, nothing's going to taste good.
And even water won't affect it. But the truth is, your palate is wrecked, so there's not much you can do. I like this one a lot.
I mean, this tastes like drinking water right now compared to the thing we just had.
See, I can still taste the hops.
There's a little, I get like a tiny bit of a close, but if there's any other flavor to this, I don't taste it.
And I don't know that there really is.
It says it's citrusy and tropical.
Yeah, but not like, because what your palate's expecting is citrusy and tropical, like legit fruit.
Yeah, like
what this has is, because it contains no fruit juice, which I don't know that you can say that about some of the others. It's just the type of hops are citrusy hops. I'm trying to find what hops they use. It does not.
Hey, I wanted to ask you real quick because you were talking about all the different styles, but you didn't talk at all about mosaic. What is that?
A mosaic is just a type of hops. It's a style of hops.
Okay.
So like you get Citra, mosaic, if I hadn't been as those are to Zappa hops. Those are it's a breed of hops.
Okay, I see it listed on a lot of beers lately, and that's why I was asking.
Simcoe is my favorite hop.
Oh yeah,
Lord, if you make me a Simcoe beer, I will be at your bar.
This is like in indica or sativa in the weed.
Yeah, basically, okay, yeah. Like it's just a different breed. They're like a relatively new type of hops, Zappa hops, which was bred and developed and named after Frank Zappa.
I assumed as much.
Yeah, and so like Cascade hops. I mean, there are dozens and dozens of types of hops, and people keep developing new ones because there's a market for it.
Sure.
All right. Yeah. So this is Trailbound. So this we had a Highland earlier. This is one of their more normal, not super juicy.
Okay.
And I know I like this one too. I'm curious what you'll think of it though, because so here's an interesting thing. I just had the Founder's Mortal Bloom after drinking all the other things. Now I've got some beer burps and they're not fruity anymore. Like I get the hops now when I have.
Yeah, I did that too actually after that one. I burped and I was like, that I think was the only thing I tasted in that was the burp.
Right.
And I was trying to put my finger on what it was. Because it was a little bitter, but it wasn't like awful. Like,
right. Right.
But it was like I didn't taste the beer when it was going down, but I did taste it going
Exactly. I like this one a lot. I think that's delicious. But it's very much a traditional IPA. It just happens
This one tastes sweet to me now.
Oh, interesting.
Because like I said, my palate is probably wrecked. But not like sweet like just sweet. Like
do you get any of the bitterness from the hops?
Mm-hmm. On the front end, but then the close tastes like I'm sipping like a very syrupy type drink, like something, I don't know, like I'm drinking maple syrup almost or something.
I don't get that level of sweet out of it.
Like I said, my palate's probably pretty wrecked at this point from all the things we've had.
So the description on the beer is with notes of citrus and soft melon, and obviously those are that makes sense. Those are
that's what I'm tasting.
It's
the melon that's being forwarded to me.
Sure.
And it's only because, like I said, my palate's so wrecked that's all I can taste is the sweet.
Sure.
So the melon, I was like, what is that? It's something. Because I don't eat a lot of melon. I don't like melons, so I don't eat them.
See, I like it. I like melon just fine, but I really like this beer. For me, that's an IPA.
I mean, it's not the amount of melon that would be offensive to me if my palate wasn't weird. I actually, speaking of back to New Belgium, 5 or 6 years ago, New Belgium made an aqua fresca.
Oh, yeah.
It was melon and lime flavored, and I actually loved the shit out of it. But then they quit making, like, everything they make that's worth a shit. Like, they stopped making after a minute, right?
Right.
Like, since the buyout, I guess. Prior to that, they were pretty static. They would do the same thing for a long time.
Yes. Yeah.
But since then, they like throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks. And if you like it, fuck you, because they're going to quit making it next year.
The buyout made a huge difference.
Yeah.
So the next one we're going to try, it's also a New England style hazy IPA. It's Blue Ridge Haze. It's from a relatively local brewery, Boojum.
Yes, out of Waynesville.
To give you a little bit of background, it is rolling in fresh, juicy, and tropical. This hazy IPA is packed with the finest blend of Eldorado, Equinox, Huel Melon, Mosaic, and Idaho 7 hops. So it's got a whole bunch of different hops in it.
They just went nuts.
It says enter a cloud of pine and citrus and immerse yourself in flavors of mango, pineapple, strawberry, and papaya.
But
it doesn't have none of those. Just like strawberry and papaya, it doesn't have strawberry and papaya.
That's not in it. That's just
it's just the flavor profile.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you drink wine and you're supposed this has cherry notes.
Right. It's supposed to. It tastes like it's like hazelnut and it's seaweed.
Yeah, but none of that is actually in the drink. It's just the combination of ingredients make that flavor.
Right.
So I'm curious because this specifically calls
out some of the flavors
you like.
It smells good. Like, that's really pleasant smelling.
I enjoy this very much. I'm curious what you will think of that one too.
I mean, right now I'm liking it pretty good.
It has just enough hops that you taste a flavor, as opposed to the last one.
Right. But yeah, it's not offensive.
Well, right. So I remember one.
Okay, so if I will next time I go to Ingles, if they have this,
You'll try that.
I'll put one of these in my 6-pack.
Yeah.
Because they usually have some boojums in the case. I'll throw this in there and I'll see when my palate's normalized how I feel about it. Because I still feel like things are a little off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they are. And eating food does help. Like we'll go, not that we should drink all the rest of these after, but we'll go have dinner and then.
But some foods make your beer taste worse, you know.
True. It just depends on the food and the beer. But
although I do think hot dogs, hamburgers, and pizza are the 3 best things to have a beer with.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yeah. We're gonna have Bill Has a Pizza after this. But I actually really like this. I think it's really good. I think it has a lot of depth.
I don't taste the hops until it actually closes with the hops. Some things the hops are on the front. This one I taste them at the back.
Sure. Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's absolutely.
I didn't taste them before, but now I'm like, after I stopped drinking for a sec, I'm like,
So an interesting point. I remember a couple years ago, the Purple Onion had a Bell's beer that was an experimental Bell's beer. It was like
this is the thing that let me know like how off-putting your fucking palate can get. Yes, right. They had
it was the habanero.
It was habanero mango Oberon, right? and after you drank it, nothing you would eat or drink the rest of the night would taste good.
But honestly, when you poured it in the glass, it literally looked like you were pouring juice. Like
it was a
orange.
Thick orange. Did you have it?
I've had it. Yeah. I had it at the Bell's
and you remember afterwards.
Oh yeah, no.
There was nothing you could eat or drink for the rest of the evening that would taste like anything but shit.
Well, right. So you texted me and said, "I just drank this. Oh my god!" And I was like, "Whatever you do right now, order the hoppiest IPA on the menu because IPA and counteracts spice."
Okay.
So if you order the hoppiest, that's why it tastes really good with Indian food. That's why it tastes really good with some Mexican food. Like the way that hops will counterbalance with spice is actually really pleasant.
Yes.
So I'm like, get the hoppiest IPA you can.
Stat. Give me 4,000 cc's of hoppy IPA.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm going to open this last one. This is Catawba, Carolina Fog Hazy IPA. Catawba's out of
Morgan. Well, it was out of Morganton. Now they got bought.
Oh God, they're out of
They closed the Morganton.
Yeah, they moved it. It's outside of New Orleans now. Yeah. I actually quit buying them after that happened because
for the most part, me too.
I forgot what the big brewery over in New Orleans was that bought them, but
not Abita, but it was one of the others.
Yeah.
No, this was a local brewery. Morganton's about like 50 minutes east of us. Tiny town, and this was there. They had 2 breweries in town. They were both amazing. And Catawba started to expand. And they had 2 breweries in Asheville, and they had a couple other places.
And they had one in Charlotte, and one in I think they had one in Wilmington for a minute, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then because it attracted attention, another brewery bought them.
And it was one out of New Orleans, and then the guy, after he bought them, he decided he was going to move all production to the New Orleans facility.
So he just closed the Morganton facility, and like
everybody lost their jobs from that, which is that's why I quit. I quit. And I used to like their White Zombie was the one I liked a lot, and the variants on the White Zombie. Although they quit making my favorite variant on White Zombie and kept making the nastiest variant on White Zombie, which was Strawberry Zombie,
right?
Which tasted like fucking somebody threw like Strawberry Quick in a beer. Yeah. Anyway,
so I mean, I've only had a sip. I don't hate this, but I don't like it as much as the last 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I could drink this. If I were at a restaurant, the best IPA they had was this, I'd drink it.
You'd drink it?
Yeah. But it's not as good. It's so and
it tastes, again, my palate's off right now, so I don't know what really 100% what I think about it. But right now I'm not loving it. it has both hoppy and sweet.
Yeah. No, and I will point out that we've had all these sitting out here for an hour, room temperature. That does affect the flavor. Like if we put them in a cooler, true. So the warmer they get, the maltier they taste, which is one of the reasons you want to drink something,
Well, and I'm 100%. This is one of the things. So when people go drinking with me, I will typically drink 2 beers to your 1 because I like my beer icy cold, right?
Right.
And so I basically glug, 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 glug. And, but I also don't usually drink high gravity stuff. I'm usually drinking lagers or Kolsch's.
Right, which are usually 5% or under.
Yeah.
6% or under, say it's the worst case.
Yes, worst case scenario. See, like I've never seen an 8% lager.
It's rare.
That would blow my mind. If you would make an imperial lager.
Yeah, it's funny. You don't hear about imperial
Nobody has ever made a beer. That's the thing. Get on that, beer companies. Make me an imperial lager. So, make me a double Kolsch.
All right, so we are out of time, but I want to know, like in our exploration from the fruit bombs to the hazy IPAs, what are your final thoughts about drinking the IPAs?
Well, I don't want the fruit bombs. I can't remember. Was there? Oh, this was the only one that was good of that. The slurp.
Yes, I actually did enjoy this.
This was good. I feel like Florida Man was pretty good.
Yeah. And Matt took one. I don't remember what it was, but it was one we liked.
He liked Beer Hug, didn't he?
He did like Beer Hug.
Everybody liked Beer. What was not to like? If you drink the whole beer hug,
you'll die. And I like a lot of these, like the hazy, Trailbound, Blue Ridge.
Yeah, kind of.
Mortal Bloom, which we already do. We've already drank.
I'm gonna buy one of these next week, and I'll drink it when I have a clean palate and see what I think. Okay, and I'll report back. Or maybe I'll bring it. Maybe I'll bring it to the next show, and I can drink it at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, which make you
and we'll see what I think.
For sure.
Like I'll do a follow up, a little. Here's a.
Oh man, I totally didn't know. I spaced on looking what next week is.
Oh gosh.
Frankly, we've been off for so long. We could just make something up.
Yeah, we could.
We'll figure it out.
Favorite puppets.
Finger puppets. Oh my god, puppets. That actually would be fun.
But we're actually gonna put on. We're gonna put on.
Hilarious.
I don't. I hope you. Does that mean we have to go out and purchase finger puppets this week? Or make them?
Yeah.
All right.
No, that's not a bad idea. And I have no idea what next week will be, but
it'll
bring
be
some beer and we'll talk about some shit.
Yeah. I'll maybe I'll get another one of these.
And honestly, I don't know that my list is up to date because we were off for so long.
Oh gosh, everything's askew. We probably had some like topical things that are no longer topical, and now we have to just drop them.
Exactly. Or
it's too late to talk about.
Kick the can and hope something comes up again later.
It's too late now to talk about whatever was the big deal 4 weeks ago. I don't even know what.
I know we had some topics.
Oh gosh,
we'll figure it all.
Yeah. Out. Anyways, join us again, folks. We'll have a show.
We will. So why we have some pizza to go eat. We already drank a lot of beers. So we probably shouldn't drink any more. So why don't you take us away?
All righty. Bill Has Opinions is engineered and produced by Laura Lavoie. The opinions of Bill are his and his alone, unless they agreed. I think we all agreed that Big Slurp was pretty good.
Yeah.
And Beer Hug wasn't bad, although you shouldn't drink the whole can.
That's share it with a friend.
I mean, unless you don't have anything to do and you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, don't drive after you drink that.
For sure. But yeah, go to the gas station, buy it, drive home, drink the whole thing, and pass out watching a stupid movie or something.
I mean, if that's what you want to do.
It's usually that's the thing. When I buy a tall boy, I'm going home to watch a bad horror movie and drink my beer and like pass out. That's all I want to do. Right? It's just that. I'm not like I'm going to drink this while I'm driving to the next function. That's not what anyway.
Anyway,
like and subscribe if you're on whatever
follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Like and subscribe on YouTube. There you go. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram and hashtag Can't Miss Bullshit and/or Opinion Gang. If you got questions, comments, concerns, ideas for future shows, whatever the fuck. Tell me a good IPA you think I ought to drink. There you go. That's a thing you could say.
Come on, viewers, tell us a thing.
Tell us a thing. You like, hey, this is a really good IPA I had, and you should try it.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't love IPAs, but I'm getting there. You know, like she said, my taste buds are dying. Apparently, I got that to look forward to.
And mine apparently died 10 years ago.
Yeah, there you go.
That's why I drink IPAs now.
So anyway, yeah. Catch us again next week. We'll see you here. Same bat time, same bat channel.
With some topic or another.
Exactly.
All right. Bye, everybody.